Similarly, there was a colleague of Dr. Keith Moore, his name was Marshall Johnson. He was also from the area of embryology, but as a hobby, he loved to study about geology. So he again asked some of the Muslims to prepare for him a list of all those verses in the Holy Quran that pertained to the area of geology, so that he could also do some research on that. Now the idea over here now for us to examine, or the attitude that we must observe that we find in the Holy Quran, is that it time and time again gives people something that they are not expecting. It asks you to open your mind. If you do not know, ask the one who does, to realize the truth. This is the constant theme within the Holy Quran. Open your mind. There are areas, there are facts in this book. If you don't know, ask a man who does, and you'll realize the truth. What is that truth? That this book is from your Creator, the Creator of the heavens and the earth, the Lord of the universe. He has sent it as a user manual, if you will, for us to lead our lives. Just as everything that is created here has a user manual, similarly the Creator of the heavens and the earth has sent this user manual for us, how we should live our lives. Now, as we have mentioned, that the Holy Quran takes a very scientific approach towards everything. In the scientific community, if you want to present a theory to them, you have an idea, you have a theory about something, and you want to present it to the scientific community, they say don't bother us with it unless you have something which is called a falsification test. So don't bother us with your theories, we don't have time for it, unless you can give us a falsification test, which is what? Ways in which we can prove that your theory is wrong. Give us that I say that such and such a thing is true, and here are 1, 2, 3, 4 steps in which you could prove my theory wrong, if you were to do these tests. For example, when Albert Einstein presented his theories, he also gave a falsification test with it. It took the scientific community 6 years to actually verify it, but at the end of the day, they did say, fine, your theory checks out, it's absolutely alright. This is not to say that his theory was correct or not, that is a different issue. But the idea is that once you have a falsification test, you deserve to be heard at least. If you have a theory, you have a falsification test, you deserve to be heard. Now the Holy Quran offers these falsification tests, ways in which you can prove this book is wrong. We can all try it. We can similarly ask a person of any other faith whether his book has the same falsification test or not. Are there any points which his book mentions with which we can prove that his book is wrong? I'm sure that all the religions that are present in the world today, none of them have such a test. Now, the falsification tests that are mentioned in the Holy Quran come in two forms. There are old tests which have passed now, which were probably at the time of the Holy Prophet, and then there are those which are till forever, till eternity. You can do them at any time. Let's talk about the old tests first. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, had an uncle by the name of Abu Lahab. He was a very staunch enemy of Islam, and his habit was that he used to follow the Holy Prophet as soon as he left his house, and when he used to talk to any people, he used to go to that person and say, what did the Prophet tell you? Did he say black? It's not black, it's white. Did he say night? It's not night, it's day. So whatever the Holy Prophet told someone, he would tell them the exact opposite. That was his habit. Now, Surah Al-Lahab was revealed, chapter 111, which distinctly stated that he and his wife, Abu Lahab and his wife, would go straight to the hellfire. That is, they would never become Muslims, they would never accept Islam. Now, since the time that this verse was revealed, the surah was revealed, till the time that Abu Lahab died, there was a period of 10 years. Abu Lahab had 10 years to say at any time, I accept Islam. And he would have proved the Quran wrong. Even if he would have said it jokingly. For example, he would have said, I want to become a Muslim. Now, how do you like that? Haven't I proved your book wrong? Because I'm saying I am accepting Islam, this means your book is wrong. So he had the opportunity, his wife had the opportunity, they never did it. Yet this is exactly the kind of behavior that was expected from Abu Lahab. No man in all seriousness would have put such a thing in his book if he was to write it himself. A person who does this exact opposite of whatever he is telling him would not put such a challenge in his book. Another example is of an incident that is mentioned in the Holy Quran of a confrontation between the Jews and the Muslims, when the Jews told the Muslims that only they had been granted paradise. So they were having, the Jews, there were about 4 or 5 of them, who were having an argument with the Muslims that only we have been granted paradise, you guys are nowhere. At that time, the verses were revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verses 94 and 95, which said, they say that the last home of Allah, which is heaven, is for them alone and no one else. Tell them, if it is for them, ask for death. But they will never ask for death because of the sins that they have committed. So at that time, it was a challenge for them. The Muslims told them that if you are truthful, all you need to say is, we ask for death. Even one of you step forward and say, I ask for death, I want to die. You don't have to die, just say that I would like to die. But such a bold statement coming that none of them will say it. Why? Because they know what sins they have committed. It was so easy for them. Imagine, all you have to do is for just one of them to say, I want to die, yet nobody did it. If they would have said it, the Quran would have been proved wrong. Now, a question that any non-Muslim might ask is, that how can we prove that the Quran is wrong today? Well, the answer comes in Surah Al-Isra, chapter 17, verse 88. Say, if all mankind and all jinns grouped together to produce a Quran like this, they could never produce anything like it, even if they helped and supported each other. The Quran, if you study it in its Arabic language, even if you read the English, you will realize the eloquence of the Holy Quran. You will realize the beauty of the words of the Holy Quran, the statement of facts, the way the verses flow together and rhyme, being true on so many levels, having so many meanings, being true on so many levels, understandable and appealing to both common men and scholars of language, of religion, men of understanding, men of knowledge. So it is a book that is understandable by all, appeals to all, and flows beautifully. And the challenge is, produce one like it. It gets better for the non-Muslim. Allah Ta'ala has made the test easier. As it was mentioned in Surah Hud, chapter 11, verse 13. If they say, he forged the Quran, he meaning Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, tell them to produce 10 surahs like these and invite whomever you can other than God if you are truthful. So the challenge was made easier. Not the Holy Quran, produce 10 like it. 10 surahs, 10 chapters. It became even more easier when it was mentioned in Surah Yunus, chapter 10, verse 38. If they say that he forged the Quran, say, then produce one surah like this. One surah, not 10, one. And invite whomever you wish other than God if you are truthful. So call your witnesses. And believe me, it even gets better. It mentions in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verses 23 and 24. If you have any doubt regarding what we have revealed to our servant, then produce one surah somewhat similar, not exactly the same, somewhat similar to these, and call upon your witnesses against Allah if you are truthful. But if you cannot, and surely you cannot, then beware of the hellfire, whose fuel is men and stones. It awaits the disbelievers. So Allah Ta'ala has made the biggest challenge, the easiest challenge. Not one surah, somewhat like it. There are some surahs in the Holy Quran which are only 3 verses, 4 verses. Produce one somewhat like it. And see if you are truthful. Call your witnesses. The word that has been used in the previous verses that I quoted was misli, similar. The word that has been used in the last verse of Surah Al-Baqarah was misli, somewhat similar. So that now the challenge is even easier. It is for all mankind, for everyone to see. Now many have tried, many have tried, but they have failed miserably to try to attempt to copy something that looked like the Holy Quran. Arabic poetry and prose was at its peak at the time of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, yet no one could do it. Instead, they were made a laughing stock.